Hello, I'm Dr. Kemp, the Hammond Doctor, and I'm here with
Dr. Janessa Essence Kemp.
That's my granddaughter right here, Dr. Janessa E. Essence Kemp. Now, what I want to show you in this video is what happens when you have a bad 12AU7 tube, and you try to use that tube in an amplifier. I'm going to show you. You want to come over here, baby, because I don't want you too close to this rotor. That rotor is turning really fast. Here, you sit right here. Okay? And what I've done is, if you go back and look at the previous video that we just did, we're down here in the trenches here on the floor in the Hammond organ room here at Vintage B3 Organ. And I had a 12 AU7 Westinghouse that tested bad on both sides. Remember, it's if you go back and look at that video, it's a dual triode tube, audio amplifier tube. So you have to check both sides of it. And when I tested this on my B&K 747 tube tester, both sides of the tube was bad. So I brought it over here and I put the tube into the relay socket of my Leslie 122 amplifier, and I want you to see what's happening.
It's turning.
Yes, and this is on corral. See, I made another previous video that dealt with this particular issue, and I didn't put a bad tube in there. I had good tubes, and I showed you what happens when you remove the tube from over there, from here. But this is what happens when you actually have a bad tube. And see, the tube is lighting up. Let me pan in closer.
I don't see it lighting.
Yeah, let me see if I can point my finger right at this tube.
I think.
Yeah, that tube is lighting up. So you can see. So what a musician will say is the tubes are lighting up. And this tube is lighting up. Come on, let's move you away from here, baby. And so you can see both of these tubes are lighting up. But this tube is lighting up, but it has tested bad on my B&K. And so therefore it is not going to function properly.
Why not?
Because it's a bad tube. It's not working right. Now, I'm going to show you that this tube is on. Let me pan back. Watch this, Janessa. I have a fluke thermometer here that I can use, and I can point it to that tube and look at the temperature on the thermometer.
Oh, it's cheap. It's
Yep.
114,
112,
113, 110.
110. So it's 112, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's hot. 116 degrees Fahrenheit right there. This is a hot tube. It's not one that you would want to touch. But as you can see, the rotor continues to turn fast. Now, and the organ is set on corral. Now, this organ is set on corral. Now, watch what will happen when okay, come back over here. All right. Now, I'm going to remove this bad 12AU7 tube. I'm using a tube glove here, so I don't want to touch that hot tube.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, tube glove. And I have a perfectly good functioning 12AU7 that I'm going to install in the socket.
And so what will you do with the old hot tube?
Well, let's give that tube time to warm up, and let's see what happens. I heard it click. You see, I'm here. Just gave it time to warm up. And the thing about this is a Mullen that I just put in a Mullen tube, Janessa. It's a very expensive 12AU7 tube, and so they heat up slowly. So when you put in, I found that when you put in these expensive Mullen tubes, some of these Great Britain tubes made in England that are very expensive, the Bugle Boys and the Mullins, the Mullards, I said Mullen, but Mullard, the Mullard tubes, they take longer to heat up. I did say Mullins. I meant to say Mullard, Mullard, M-U-L-L-A-R-D. And I found that they take longer to heat up, and you just saw that. It was sitting there for a few seconds before the pop. I heard the pop, and when I heard the pop change, then this rotor slowed down, which indicates to me that now we have a good tube in the relay socket of the Leslie 122 amplifier, and we're ready to play now, man. We're ready to play now, baby girl. Or we could get on this Hammond B3 organ over here, and we could do something. We could do some damage.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, I hope this video helps somebody, because from time to time, this is something that you can easily run into. You'll be at church and turn on your organ, and your rotor is running continuously, is running fast, and you look at the tubes. The tube is lit, and you say, well, evidently the tube is okay. It's not out, it's not dark, and you don't have a tube tester. I mean, most organists, most churches don't have an expensive tube tester like my B&K 747 mutual conductors, a solid state tube tester. I mean, they're very expensive. You can go buy one. You can go buy one. I've bought them, and this particular one my father gave to me. But the one that I have, a couple of ones of the ones that I have, my dad gave them to me, and I bought some on my own. But most church musicians, Janessa, simply will not have a tube tester, and so they test the tube by actually looking at it, and that's not a true indicator or a true test of the quality of a tube. Just looking at it, seeing that, oh, it's lit, that the tube is lit, so it must be functioning properly. No. You can see in this video, by looking at this, you can't tell that this is a bad tube. This is a bad tube. Now, you can tell that it's not functioning properly because the rotor would not slow down. And when I pull this one out, put a good tube in, the rotor slowed down. That's diagnostic, of course, unless you know that this is a bad tube. All right, but simply looking at the tube, see, this is a good looking tube. Look at that tube. It looks good. In fact, it looks new. So you can have a tube that looks new, that's beautiful, that does not it does not emit gas. There's no indication here of gas emission in this tube. It's just that this tube is not properly functioning. The filaments in this tube are not functioning as they should, and this tube needs to be discarded. Now, I discovered this some time ago, so what I did was I marked this tube as bad, so because I wanted to use it for instructional purposes to make a video, which is what I'm doing with the tube. So otherwise, I would take a tube of this, like this, Janessa, and you know what I would do with it?
What?
I'd throw it away. Here's Janessa over here.
So does that mean that's why it says bad on it?
That's why it says bad on it, baby girl. I would take this tube and I would put it in the what?
Trash can.
You better believe it. So, until the next video, this is Dr. Arthur D. Kemp, the Hammond Doctor, along with my beautiful, beautiful daughter, my granddaughter. Who is my daughter? Who?
Dr. Janessa Essence.
Ooh, I'm going to have to give her a kiss and a squeeze and a hug. And she is so smart. Janessa, you're so smart and so beautiful. My baby girl is going to North Carolina A&T State University. I don't know what you're going to major in, engineering or pre-med or something, chemistry, physics, something. And then she's going to Harvard, to medical school, and then to Yale for her residency, and then to Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore for her postdoctoral master's in public health. And then after that, she can go get a job. Where you going to move to, Janessa? Where you want to move to? You've been to, she's been traveling. Look at our videos and you'll see Janessa has been traveling. She's even been to Harvard. She's already been to Harvard. She's been to Yale, so she's been there. And where you going to move? You said you wanted to go to New York. You want to move to New York. You changed your mind now? But you're going to get a house where? On the what?
Beach.
Oh, she's going to get a house on the beach. I told her, if you want to buy a house on the beach, you better do all those things that I said. Go to medical school and make that money. Hey, all right. So until the next video, we're going to say what?
Peace out.
All right. Goodbye.